Y'all, for me to be dropping this in November, that's how you know we about to get into it. Every year for me, I completely transform. Like 2 years ago, I hardly recognized Shorty for real. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jordan. I am so excited about this video. I've gained a lot of insight and had a lot of breakthroughs this year. I feel like mentally and spiritually more than anything. It wasn't too eventful of a year in terms of like huge events or like major life changes, but it also hasn't been that way in a negative sense either. There weren't like shocking or bad things that happened. So overall, I'm grateful, but I can honestly say I spent most of the year in solitude, and I feel like that's where I grow the most, when I'm alone, when I'm traveling. I'm not even going to do too much rambling because there's so much to talk about. I'm gonna start with the most liberating thing that I've realized this year. It's that all limitations are self-imposed. I'll say it again. All limitations are self-imposed. God knows no bounds, knows no limitations. We give things value as humans. We literally made everything up. We made capitalism. We made money and gave it value. We did this ourselves. To God, it's nothing. My dreams and aspirations are minuscule to God. Humans give things value. Humans equate their worth to materialism. So we have to open our minds to endless possibilities. Take the limits off of your mind. Your mindset can really restrict you and really hold you back from reaching new heights. It's literally a shift in perspective sometimes. And it's about matching the frequency of what you want. Do you know what I mean? Once we realize that something as simple as like a mindset shift sometimes can open up endless possibilities for us, then we'll be more intentional with our thoughts, with the words that we speak, with the limitations that we put on ourselves. We'll ask for more. We will esteem ourselves more highly. And another thing that I learned is, as it relates to business, always be last to mention a number. You'll be surprised how much people will offer for your service, offer for your time. So one thing that I learned is to not sell myself short. I realized that sometimes people could see our value more than we can. Do you know what I'm saying? So until you are in the energy of fully embodying abundance, don't sell yourself short in the meantime. Don't put limits on yourself. Stop downplaying your dreams. God knows no limitations. So I try to now view myself how God views me. And viewing myself through that lens puts me in an energy of nothing is off the table for me. There's nothing that I can't have. Why not me? I'm not shocked that people want to pay me a lot. I'm not shocked that this opportunity has reached me. I'm not shocked that this person wants me. Why not me? Do you know what I mean? Like, esteem yourself highly and understand that any limitations we place on ourselves, you placed it all. Like, there are no limits. There are no limits in a limitless, abundant universe. Why not you? The next thing that I learned this year was to not beat myself up over mistakes. And I used to really beat myself up for like not knowing something or this or that. But this year, you ever think about the fact that we've never been here before? Like, this is our first time here. We didn't get like a practice life, a warm up, nothing. This is our first try at life. Of course you're gonna misstep. Of course you're gonna make mistakes. Like, no one is perfect. My self-talk has changed a lot. And I started to give myself grace. Like, you didn't know, it's okay. Like, I've really come to terms with the fact that we are literally here to evolve, to grow, to learn. That's literally the point of life. And so one thing that I try to do is give myself the same grace that I would give a child. It's not my experience, but a lot of times people who were abused or experienced childhood trauma and things like that tend to be perfectionists because their fear of the consequences of making a mistake. Do you know what I mean? And so if you are someone who has trauma as it relates to your upbringing and having to, you know, walk on eggshells and do your very best, then it is so imperative that you heal your inner child through almost reparenting yourself in that sense, not beating yourself up, being like, it's okay, next time we'll do this differently, but it's okay, you didn't know, you know? How could you have known that? It's all right, we all make mistakes. Like, talk to yourself like you would a child. It is so healing. Even me, like, I do that with myself, and I'm like, especially beating yourself up over things that you cannot correct, things that you have absolutely no control over at this point. A, it's redundant. There's nothing you can do about it. But B, you'll build a strong sense of friendship with yourself when you give yourself grace. Don't bully yourself. Just don't. It's okay. This is all of our first time. We're literally all winging it. And I read this quote that said, if you were to go back and erase all of your mistakes, you would erase yourself. You didn't know, just do better next time, you know? This next one has really helped me, even as it relates to my channel. It's the saying, time is going to pass whether you participate in life or not. Like, time is going to pass regardless. Just because you're not taking action towards what you love, just because you're not fully embodying your highest self, 5 years are going to pass regardless. You're going to have to look back and see what you've done. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't stop time. To me, it's kind of a kick to get active, get in the field. The time's going to pass regardless. You could have been steadily working towards something or not. Either way, you're going to be 30, and you're either going to be in a position as a result of having not put in the work or be in a better place. Because one thing is proven, that consistency and slowly working at something, even if you don't see results quickly, everyone knows that with time you will see results. You know what I'm saying? And the time is going to pass. So get in the field is pretty much what I learned. Like, you know what I'm saying? And for anyone who struggles with like analysis paralysis, which is not taking action or just being stuck in research mode for so long that time passes by and you have never actually started, this is something to repeat to yourself. Time is going to pass regardless. Start building, start working towards your vision. Another major takeaway for me this year in particular was flow, don't force. Just flow. Like, we naturally will gravitate towards certain things, towards certain people. We will feel magnetized and like drawn towards what's for us. Focus on that. Like, if you're beating a dead horse and it's just not working, whatever it is that you're trying to do or cultivate, keep trying to open the door and it's locked, it may not be the door for you. And that's okay. That's something that personally I have realized as it relates to modeling. Is like, for instance, this last modeling season was very slow for me. I wasn't working too much, and my first instinct was, well, I just need a better agency. Well, I just need better representation. I need to do this and apply here and fly here. And one thing that I learned in this book, this book, y'all, if you haven't read it, I really encourage you to read it, because it's not just about money, but I'm gonna mention it. The energy of money is, she was saying how whenever things aren't working, I'm not saying just like a minor obstacle, because we will face obstacles, you know? I'm saying like you really are working towards something and not seeing change. Resistance and obstacles aren't always a sign to work harder at something. Sometimes it's God not allowing you to walk through a door because it's not the door for you. Sometimes we're being redirected. And that doesn't mean that you change your purpose or change your goal, but be flexible with the plan. An example is with modeling, my goal ultimately, I could care less about the technicalities of modeling. My goal ultimately was to have a platform, to be a light, to inspire. And that doesn't change. My passions, my heart doesn't change, but the modality, the way in which that is manifested can be different than what I envisioned. The book says our plans are our best guess at how to reach our goals given the current information that we have. What do we know for real? Like I said, this is our first time here. We're you know, what do we really know? So an example of me being flexible with the plan would be to focus on YouTube. The same passion and purpose manifested, but through switching lanes. Do you know what I mean? And that's not to say I won't continue modeling, because I will as long as I can, but it's being flexible with how we reach our goal. If it's not working, don't force it. And you'll know what's for you because you'll feel a pull towards it. You'll feel drawn towards it. Basically, just focus on what is working, what you can control. That helps a lot. This next one is more so for entrepreneurs or people that have a lot of interactions with clients. It's rapport over revenue. One thing that I took away from this year is that being flexible, having integrity, following through on your commitments, working with people, giving them a little wiggle room, builds trust and rapport. They'll return to you plenty of times. They'll recommend you to friends, etc. because you were human first. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people are so by the book and sticklers about things to where it's like you may get the money right now, but that person will never return to you as a service provider, etc., because you were rude or you didn't people like people like to relate, people like being given grace, shown kindness. Like, we're losing recipes. Kindness and long-standing connections are worth losing money temporarily, because I guarantee you they'll be back and you'll make that money 10 times over. They'll put you on to other people that they know because they trust you, because they know you have integrity, you're a stand-up person, you'll get the job done, you'll put in extra effort, etc., etc. Like, as it relates to business, people are more valuable than a quick dollar. Seriously. Like, an example is, there's a place where I get my phone fixed every time that I crack it. So I cracked my screen a few months ago and I took it there. They were like, well, there's a scratch on the back, so we can replace the back if you like for a discount. So they'll repair both sides for cheap. I was like, sure, why not? So they repaired my phone and gave it back, and I ended up going to Europe for a few weeks. Eventually I realized that my flash didn't work. Like, my camera flash, it was broken. Mind you, it worked perfectly fine before I brought my phone there, so it wasn't like a huge deal, but I set the intention to bring it back, obviously so they could fix it since they broke it, once I got back to the States. I did drag my feet with getting back to them, but eventually when I had some downtime, I took it over there and I was like, hey guys, like, when I brought my phone here to get my screen fixed, I think you guys might have like tampered with the camera, it don't work, you know? And they were like, unfortunately, you've extended the warranty, you know, like, you basically, I waited too long to bring it back, so I will have to pay. They broke it. This isn't even like something that I brought to get repaired in the first place. I've gone there since I was like 17 and I crack almost every phone and get it fixed there, whatever. Them being greedy and weird, just that one time lost them a long-term customer. Do you know what I mean? So being flexible sometimes is more beneficial in the long run. People will even work with you, not even because you perform the best, but because they like your personality. Do you know what I mean? Even if you sacrifice making an extra dollar on something, they'll tip you significantly. It always balances out. Next, this I have realized as a result of having seen like someone that I love in like not a great condition health-wise, someone that has given so much of themselves their entire life to others, has always been in service to others, put everyone else first. It really opened my eyes to how we love people so much, especially maternal figures. Like, they will give you the shirt off their back, like bend over backwards to make sure that everyone's good. But what I really sat with this year is that the ultimate way to love others is to love yourself first. A lot of people say they die for their family. I feel like we should live for our families. We should live for our loved ones by taking care of ourselves. More sustainable energy, you know? Even like exhausting yourself, you might be cranky, irritable, you're not well rested, you're running off coffee, things like that, because you didn't prioritize your own well-being. So they're not getting the best version of you. You really have to pour into yourself first so that you can give them the best version of you. If that means retreating, taking time, saying no, then do that, because in the long run, you'll have a better quality of life. Like, you want to be around to play on the floor with your grandkids, things like that. So anyone that I love, I want them to know the ultimate act of love is to love themselves. I want everyone to love themselves, be mindful of their health and like what they're putting in their bodies, about their lifestyle overall, if they're active, things like that. That's the ultimate act of love. Give people the best of you. You know what I'm saying? You can only do that by pouring into yourself and giving them the overflow. I've been talking about overflow a lot on my channel. That's been like my word of the year if I had to pick one. And my last takeaway: if you are not having fun with it, from the bottom of my heart, be done with it, for real. Pivot. Learn how to pivot. Like, if something is not fulfilling you, pivot. This is our first time here, yes, but this is our only time here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. The link is down below, and like and subscribe. See you next time.